Hello, my friends, and welcome to another edition of What's New in Quix Streams. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Tim, and I'm a maintainer and contributor of Quix Streams. Now today we'll be covering Quix Streams version 2.11, which adds support for source connectors, which just provide a seamless interface for ingesting various data sources into your Kafka ecosystem. But before we get started into that, be sure to like and subscribe so that way you can stay up to date with all the latest changes in Quix Streams, including the addition of new sources. But with that, let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, let's go ahead and talk about how you can use these source connectors. Now, to start us off, I'm going to go ahead and talk about what source connectors are available to you out of the box. So first, we have the CSV source connector, which is exactly what it sounds like. It allows you to read from a CSV file and then dump to a Kafka topic. Kafka replicator, which allows you to consume data from one cluster and then produce that data to another cluster. And then Quix environment, which is very similar, except replace cluster with environment. So you can consume from one Quix cloud environment and then produce to another. So with that, let's talk a little bit about how these source connectors work. And I'm going to use CSV source as an example just to kind of get you up and running because it's the simplest by far. So to begin, the first thing that you're going to notice is I kind of have my entire application nested under this source main function. And so this is one of the larger changes to be aware of if you plan on using a source, is because it's using multiprocessing under the hood, it did require us to make some concessions around how it's executed. And so you are going to want to use this if name equals main pattern. Now it's not going to do you any harm to do this also for just normal applications. So feel free to just use this pattern everywhere going forward. And it's not going to do any harm. But just be aware that this is something that is required if you are using a source setup. So with that, let's talk a little bit about how you would construct a source. As I said, we're going to be using CSV source. And in this case, the only thing required with a CSV source is that you provided a path. In this case, obviously the CSV file that I wish to read from. And then the other definitions are going to look very straightforward. Nothing has changed here, right? We have our application, normal information that you would pass in application. I also have the output topic that I'm going to produce to after I ingest my data and do some transformations to it. So you can see here I have app.dataframe, and then I'm applying my transformations, and then I apply all of that to a final topic, basically. Now, this is where you'll start to see the main distinction here with sources, and that's in order to execute a source, you need to hand it to a data frame. So there's a new argument in data frame called source, and then you hand it a source object in this case. There's also the option, if you wish to, you could also hand it a topic as well. And what this is going to do is, under the hood, all sources are basically using an internal topic that is basically to help us facilitate the data frame use. And so you have the option to also pass your own topic here rather than using whatever the default topic is, and that's going to depend on which source that you use in general. But it does give you the option to do that, and then it also would allow you to not have to do any additional transformations if you just wanted to have that data raw, and you don't need to produce to another topic with various transformations added to it. So just know that that's an option, but in general, I imagine this is going to be the most common pattern, so I wanted to show it to you guys. So as you can see, the execution of this is really straightforward, and it's meant to have this simple interface, and it's meant to make it easy to where you have this data frame, you can do all your original transformations, and before you know it, you have data in a Kafka topic ready to go. So with that, that's all I have to show you. That should be enough to get you up and running with source connectors. All right, well, with describing source connectors out of the way, I want to pivot to contributing, and contributing is going to relate to both our sync connectors that were added in a previous release and source connectors. And really, this is a call to action to our community. Essentially, a lot of people have asked how they can contribute to the library, and honestly, this is one of the best ways that you can do that, largely because we are just such a small team, and there's just no way we could possibly cover all the different sources and syncs that could possibly exist. So this is a call to you guys to go ahead and contribute your own. And we've already had a few different syncs contributed already, so that's super exciting. And really, you should see from those that like these contributions, they don't have to be perfect. In fact, they can solve really your specific use case, and then the community can run with that and extrapolate upon it and really help them grow and mature. So if you guys are interested in doing that, We around this time of the release of this video, we will be adding to our contributing section a new header here called contributing new connectors. So feel free to take a look at that. It's going to outline all the different procedures around it and how to get the ball rolling on that. So again, guys, thank you so much for all of your interest and excitement in contributing, and we can't wait for you guys to be a part of the growing Quix community. All right, my friends, that's all I've got for you today. Thanks again so much for tuning in, and be sure to like and subscribe so that way you can stay up to date with all of our latest features that we have coming up on the horizon. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me.